When I was 6, I refused to write. I would angrily throw down my pen at even the suggestion of making a shopping list. After being diagnosed with auditory dyslexia, I had to confront my hatred of writing and why I actually felt like this. And it was a fear of failure. So I do understand when I hear the phrase, "I don't like poetry." There are many reasons why. Sometimes we can feel stupid when we don't understand it. It can seem self-indulgent, trivial, and just plain annoying, so why bother with it? The human condition can make us feel insecure, and it can make us feel vulnerable. We can be afraid to be honest with ourselves and our true identity, but with perseverance, it's poetry that can set us free. Earlier this year, I went to National Youth Drama School in the Hawke's Bay. Set in a room with other young poets, we were given the tools of self-expression, openness, and freedom. Being the first spoken word poetry class, there were no set expectations or limits of what we wanted to do. This left the doors wide open for whatever we wanted to explore. Everyone was free to take risks, and for most of us, it was the first time we'd ever performed our poetry to other people. The vulnerability in opening up to people you'd never met before at first was truly frightening. Though through the 10 days I was learning with them, I have never felt more connected. The support to craft, admire beautiful poetry gave me the validation that my words had purpose, but not only strength. Finding them my personal vocal expression meant something created a huge positive change in the way I saw myself. I discovered that poetry helps us to help know that our voices have power, and this changes the way we can see ourselves and the way we can shape ourselves as future leaders. Poetry is defenseless. It can leave us wonderfully open and connected to other ideas, emotions, and ways of thinking that we would have not been exposed to otherwise. Now, this liberation is an ongoing process. I'm not going to pretend that it's always easy. The writing process for nearly everyone is affected with that self-doubt and those what-ifs. What if they don't like it? What if it's not good enough? What if they can't connect? These what-ifs keep poetry unspoken on the back of notebooks, crushed on the back of envelopes. It keeps love letters unsent and postcards with "wish you were here" remaining here. The journey of a poem starts with a thought, then into a poem, then finally out into the world, and it is truly fraught, and it is a wondrous thing. And sometimes it can feel like a miracle just to even have one finished. What I know is this. Poetry connects me to people, enables me to share my slice of the human condition. Everyone's words, ideas manifest in limitless ways, and reading and writing poetry can blow our minds. Whether you pick up a pen, or rediscover forgotten notebooks, or simply show up at a reading, poetry will reward you deeply, joyfully, and with great power. It's poetry that you can be set free. Okay. I have 3 short poems for you today, and the first one is called Steel Stationery. Impartial to the upheaval of motion, the station gives up. Wellington makes still. The purpose of salvation is desired, the sight of which belongs where light does not deal cards to. The game of risk forms passion shapes better in the night, but it slips out from the shadows into the daylight. Watch the void of the regular swish puddles around feet. These work shoes are dirty, but they are undeterred. The cost of coats flick off suitable dresses. The day-on-day shuffle creates unfulfilled friction. It gets simulated out of the seams. The steam roll back zips up, pushed into the doldrum brake lights. The work I-force blanks into train exits today. Today, the regular crowd. The same stare poised timing at the station status, the vacant acknowledgement of the steady arrive, delay, depart practice. Trains follow suits. Dry cleaned and boss preened were all the same on an 8:45 train. It's the unfulfilled friction that keeps the daily grind continuing its circular route. It's time that is yet to be defined. So set your clocks to the train line and let this regular crowd shuffle in. My next poem is called Outsourced. I say I've been writing your love for centuries. I look down at hands held about the height of my hip because my limbs actually don't go that far, but swing with aim. I'd call it a pitch of passion. Dare me drink this one? No, you wouldn't. But the bottle is to his lip, and his body is outsore. Stormwater flow from your mate's story about the waterfalls of Brazil. There's hours of heavy white whisper, an international treasure. An internal tide when I watch eyes cast similar patterns down walls, run down bodies, curate shapes of human roughness. Because, baby, I don't want to upset you. My eyes open port side, drinking in your drunken projection. I adore you. It's true. Your export beer may crush unsuccessfully gutterballed, stormwater and out to sea, but my heart gathers pleasing word frames when you're with me. My heart gathers pleasing word frames when you're with me. So let me swim in your outsourced stolen dream, and I'll collect the gentle rain. Soak up lacy promises, and we'll never waste a day. And the name of my final poem is Witness. The ready, set stalling that comes with being so terrifyingly young, the thought of my youth being so precious that any step seems like a sacrificial waste of time. The clicks of clocks become digital, and I'm afraid I will not be able to witness. The last kiss of death seems like growing up, settling. The dust of daring and docile never settled. I was not ready. The burning burden that came with being young and paralyzed to make a decision hurt more than making a mistake itself. You see, for future me, I was passionate. I was passionate to meet perfect punctuation, searching for validity, to tick adult boxes. See, I could look back at those movie scripts and knew that I practiced that punchline. There's this fierce flush under card-dealing collars. So my nostalgia is Matchbox pride. Stuck are the days I said I should live, so I start counting backwards. The fear of chasing something you'll never get credit for or credits for. Make it count. Your future is so bright. Burn up fires unfueled with unmade beds I'd never want to lie in. I am anxious not to crease those sheets. Value your years. There's this cold pink embarrassment peaks at the fear of getting it wrong. Is this how it works? Am I doing it right? Will I wake up old and be happy with my life?